Channel Sports Central will be going over our next schedule preview this offseason, and it will be over the Louisville Cardinals. And this is a team that went 8-5 in the 2019 season. And yeah, it was overall a good season for Louisville, but how will they be in 2020 is what we're going over here today. We're going to be going over a few players that this team will be losing, who they're going to be returning, and also going over their schedule for the first time this offseason. Starting off with the games that this team has had since November, and we start off on November 9th when this team played Miami on the road, and that was a bad loss there, 27-52, and certainly to Miami team, I know I understand with it being a road game, but of course Miami was not all that great of a team last season, so yeah, that certainly was a bit of a concerning loss there, but they were able to bounce back the next couple weeks. They beat NC State on the road 34-20. The next week they also beat Syracuse the week after that 56-34. So yeah, they got two good wins there, but then they went to Kentucky and they had another really bad loss, 13-45. They lost to Kentucky on the 30th. And then they were able to win their bowl games. So yeah, this is a super inconsistent November for Louisville. I mean, to go from losing to Kentucky 13-45 to beating Mississippi State 38-28 is kind of a crazy turnaround there. But yeah, certainly for Louisville, I mean, winning a bowl game was a big part of the season. Between September and October, though they were 5-3, and then between November and the rest of the season, they were 3-2. So yeah, once again, Louisville, it was kind of an odd season for them. 1 week they'd have a really good game, 1 week they would not. And a good example of that would be that Syracuse game to that Kentucky game. I mean, when you beat Syracuse at home 56-34, you'd expect to at least compete with Kentucky. But yeah, it didn't turn out that way for sure. But yeah, nonetheless, for Louisville, still a good season. They were able to get up 8 wins. So yeah, certainly for Louisville, this is a team that's got a lot of potential going into 2020. And that's what we're going over next, is the returning production. They returned their starting quarterback, Malik Cunningham. He is a huge part of this team. He had over 2,000 yards of passing last season with 22 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. That is a really, really good touchdown to interception ratio. That's basically 4-1, 4.5-1. And then they also had 500 rush yards, or he had 500 rush yards with 6 additional touchdowns. So yeah, he's a dual threat quarterback, and also he's very accurate, obviously, with his touchdown and interception ratio. So yeah, Malik Cunningham definitely has a bright future, in my opinion. I think next season could be the breakout season for him. They also returned their top running back in Javion Hawkins, in which he had just over 1,500 yards last season with 9 touchdowns. So yeah, he was a major player for this team as well. Obviously, I mean, yeah, having over 1,500 yards as a running back is something that's very rare. You typically only see that out of 5 or 6 teams in the FBS. They also returned their second running back in Hassan Hall, which he had just over 500 yards too. So yeah, the running back core was definitely very important for this Louisville team last season. They also returned their top wide receiver in Atwell. He was a big part of this team as well. I mean, he had just over 1,300 yards with 11 touchdowns. And they do lose their second wide receiver in Dez Fitzpatrick. That will be a tough loss. He had just over 600 yards last season with 6 losses. And yeah, they also lose their third wide receiver in Seth Dawkins. And so, yeah, he didn't have as big of an impact on this offense. He had just around 350 yards of offense last season with 3 touchdowns. So, yeah, that'll be a tough loss, no doubt on that. But certainly for this wide receiver core, returning your top one in Atwell, which he had, considering he had over 1,300 yards of offense last season, he's going to be a major player for this team next season. And yeah, this Louisville team has got a lot of playmakers coming into 2020. I mean, they've got so much potential. I mean, once again with Cunningham, someone who had over 2,500 yards with a 22-5 touchdown to interception ratio. Yeah, Malik Cunningham's bound for a great season. Hawkins also is. When you return a running back with right around 1,600 yards, I mean, typically they'd be a senior, but yeah, no, he's not even a senior yet. And then also returning your second running back, your top wide receiver. Yeah, definitely Louisville's got a ton of potential to do some really, really cool things going into 2020. They do lose 1 offensive lineman, 1 defensive lineman, and 1 linebacker, as well as 2 in the secondary. So they do lose 4 on the defense. But really, 4 losses on the defense really is not all that bad. Typically, you'll see 4 to 5 losses on most defenses, 4 to 5 starters lost. So yeah, for Louisville having 4, that's not all that bad at all. So yeah, Louisville contending with Clemson in 2020, that is a question that you can't ask. I mean, Louisville's going to be a team that I could kind of compare to, let's say, a better version of Virginia from last year. As you know, Virginia won their division, and obviously Louisville, to win their division, they got to get past Clemson, which I don't expect them to go past Clemson next season by any means. But yeah, I do expect Louisville to contend in their division. I mean, I think that certainly Louisville's got a chance to put up some really good numbers. I think that they could easily get up to 9, possibly even 10 wins, and we're going to go over that next. But yeah, certainly is Louisville a dark horse for 2020? I'd say absolutely, 100%. I mean, not many people are talking about Louisville right now. Many people are talking about Clemson because, I mean, they're the so-called one good team in the ACC. But yeah, watch out for Louisville. And I think, yeah, Louisville, North Carolina, and Virginia will be the 3 teams, possibly even Virginia Tech. Those 4 teams definitely will be contending up there in the ACC, and I'd especially say that about Louisville and Virginia. So yeah, certainly for Louisville, looking like it's looking like it's gonna be a great season for them in 2020. It would really surprise me if it flopped on them. Yeah, moving on to your schedule for Louisville, you start off the season with a conference game against NC State. Should not be much of a problem there. But then you got Clemson, very tough game on the road on September 12th. So you start off the game with 2 conference games, and then you got Murray State on the 19th, Western Kentucky on the 26th, and then your third non-conference comes against Notre Dame on November 21st, and that's going to be a road game. But yeah, nonetheless, after Western Kentucky, you kick off October against Syracuse on the road. You also got Boston College on the road on the 10th. You got on the 24th against Florida State. You got Virginia Tech to finish out October. On November 7th, you got Virginia, Wake Forest, Notre Dame, and then you finish off the season once again against Kentucky. And here's what I'm expecting. I'll give you 3 guaranteed wins. Once again, in our schedule previews, we don't go over every game. We will be doing that in our actual predictions coming out this summer. Yeah, these are your 3 guaranteed wins. I'm going to say NC State, Murray State, and Western Kentucky will be your 3 guaranteed wins going into next season, with all 3 of them being home games. Definitely I could guarantee those. And yeah, I mean, you also got a lot more, or many more winnable games on the schedule. Obviously, Wake Forest will not be as good in 2020 as they were last season, so that's a very winnable game there. Certainly Notre Dame is going to be a very tough one. Well, actually, I don't think it's going to be very tough. I'd say it's tough with it being on the road in a difficult location. I don't really expect much out of Notre Dame next season. Like, it wouldn't surprise me a single bit to see Louisville go into that game on the 21st of November, and yeah, Notre Dame's not even ranked. Like, I don't expect them to be ranked for a good chunk of next season. I just don't think that they've got all the potential to do that for another season. I mean, they're taking a lot of senior losses, but yeah, with Louisville, I mean, Syracuse, Boston College, 2 very winnable games there. Florida State, Virginia Tech. That Virginia Tech game may be tough. Virginia on the road may be tough as well. But yeah, certainly for Louisville, I'm going to give you a record estimation of 9-3 to 10-2. And typically, I give you guys a 3-game window for record estimation. So this is going to be the one team where I actually give you a 2-game window. So I'm actually predicting either 9-3 or 10-2 for Louisville. I think they're going to be right up there with 9-10 wins. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me to see them even get 11 wins. I mean, if you beat Notre Dame and your only losses to Clemson, I mean, certainly this team could do that. But yeah, once again, for now, your record estimation will be 9-3 to 10-2. Stay tuned for our actual predictions coming out this summer. But yeah, thank you guys all for watching. Let me know your thoughts on Louisville in the comments below. Let me know whether you think they will be better or worse. Yeah, thank you guys all for watching once again. Be sure to slap a like on this video and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Really helps out the channel. I'd really appreciate that. But yeah, once again, thank you guys all for watching. Stay tuned for more from All Sports Central. I will see you all later.